time for one of my favorite videos that I do every single month. It is my monthly book haul for the month of March. I somehow managed to film this right at the time of day where I do have a streak of sunlight hitting this portion of my table. If I put this paper down, I literally look like a ghost. Like, it's creating the worst reflections. So we're just gonna have to make do, and hopefully the lighting isn't too terrible. But if you're new, I make this video every single month where I just round up all of the books that I bought in the month of March, where I got them from, and how much I spent, and hopefully the total will surprise you. I started this as a way to show all of the different versatile ways to obtain books into my life, and since then it has overflowed into what it has become today. However, I try my best to purchase books for as low and as cheap as possible, so I always include the average per book spent at the end. So definitely stay tuned until the end for the total. I have all of my notes written down in this notebook. For the month of March, we have 5 categories. We've got Target, Barnes & Noble, local independent bookstores, PR, and Thrifted. And not only that, but I think this might be one of my favorite monthly book hauls ever because of the insane finds that I found at thrift stores this month. If you follow me elsewhere on Book Talk, you may have seen what I'm referring to, but I got so lucky at my thrift stores this month, and I found amazing self-published versions of books I've been wanting to read for forever. Not to mention the amount of books that came out in the month of March that I also picked up new releases for, so just a ton of exciting upcoming reads. We have so many books to get through today, so let's get right on into this haul. Of course, if you're new, please subscribe. As you can tell, I make this video every single month along with so many other bookish content here. I also do have a Goodreads, Book Talk, Bookstagram, storefront. All of that and more can be found down below. And if you're more of a short form consumer, I do a condensed version of this over on my TikTok as well. For the month of March, I somehow acquired 39 books. Comment down below your guess right now for how much you think these 39 books cost, but hopefully the total at the end surprises you as much as it surprised me. And like I said, we've got 5 categories to get through today, so let's dive right into category number 1, and I try to do these categories in order of purchase. So the first category and first place that I purchased a book this last month was at Target, and that is because of the release of Wild Side by Elsie Silver. I love Elsie Silver so much, and this is her newest series, the Rose Hill series, and this is the 3rd book that recently came out at the beginning of March. Now, the only reason that I feel like I need to purchase these upon release day is for the spine. All of the spines in this series have matching mountains, so when you line them up, the mountains all flow. It's only on the first batch though, so that's why it's so important to get these when they come out, because once they reprint these, they're not gonna have the mountains and they become kind of like a collector's item. So I did pick this up and I'm so excited to get through the series. This is the only book that I purchased from Target this month though, and I actually had a gift card, so my total for category number 1 comes out to $0 spent. Category number 2 is Barnes & Noble. I did a little happy hour with a fellow Bookstagram girly that I met in the area this last month, and then we went to Barnes & Noble afterwards to browse, and I ended up purchasing 2 books during this outing. I feel like I have a decent excuse though, because I needed to pick up my annual tote bag. I am a Barnes & Noble member, so I get a free tote every single year, and this is my tote for 2025. I have the black one and the orange one, so I decided to grab the blue one. My favorite part about these totes is the pocket on the inside. So I got my tote. It was release day for Sunrise on the Reaping when we went, so I of course had to grab a copy. And then I also grabbed a copy of Ruckus, which is the 2nd book in the Sinners of Saint series by LJ Shen, and low-key, I'm obsessed with this series. So that is it for category number 2 this month though, and my total spent at Barnes & Noble comes out to $41.19. Definitely the most spent per book this month, which is to be expected from Barnes & Noble. Moving on to category number 3, we have local independent bookstores. I did stop by Cream and Amber this month, which is one of my favorite local bookstores because it's not only a cafe, but they serve wine and beer in the evenings as well, and it's a bookstore. They had so many used books this time when I went in, I could not resist. I found Belladonna there for only $8. Oops, I just gave away how much I spent, but also got a little bookmark from them as well, and I signed up for their Punch Reward program, which I didn't realize they had like a punch card. This is a book that I've heard a lot of good things about though, so I'm so glad I found a copy, and like I accidentally just spoiled for this category, this book was only $8, so total for this category comes out to $8 spent. I was lucky enough to receive 11 books from different publishers and authors this month, including 8 ARCs for upcoming releases. I am so excited for all of these. Grey House Books sent over an ARC for The Page Turner by Viola Shipman. This is like a bookish book about books and authors, which I love. This book also comes out April 8th, so I think by the time this video goes up, this book should be released. Celadon Books also sent over an ARC for Friends with Benefits by Marissa Cantor this month. This is a rom-com that's coming out in May, and I am so excited for it, so I cannot wait to read this. And I actually don't know how this happened, but they accidentally sent over 2 copies of this ARC, so I will hold on to one, but I think I'm also going to share the other either in like a little free library or maybe just to a bookish friend that I know will appreciate it. I got an ARC for Spontaneous Remission by Dr. Joel Shulkin. This is a thriller like no other. It's a medical thriller and it just sounds so good. So I'm so happy that him and his team sent over a copy for me. I believe this is also a finalist for a 2023 Best Thriller, which is so exciting. And then they also sent over a ton of little goodies in my PR box. So I got this pen that is like a shot, which is so fun, a compact mirror with the cover on it, and then some stickers as well. So a big thank you to the author Joel Shulkin and his team for sending over this exciting PR package. Spontaneous Remission comes out May 13th, so definitely be on the lookout for this soon. Harper Perennial sent over Mona of the Manor this month, which looks very good. Definitely like cozy mystery vibes. Oh good, I think I can come closer. I think the sun is moving behind me. Mira Books sent over A Most Puzzling Murder. This book comes out June 10th, but it looks like such a cool concept for a mystery, and there's different like codes and puzzles included in this story as well, so I can't wait to play along and see if I can solve anything. Bloom Publishing sent over 2 books that I am so excited to read, both by Megan Quinn, which is a romance author that I have been wanting to try for forever. This is part of her trilogy, and I know there's a 3rd one that just came out, so they sent over the first 2 in preparation so that I can read them and then get excited for like the next book. I have Bridesmaid for Hire as well as Bridesmaid Undercover, and these both sound so fun. I cannot wait to dive into them. I also received 2 ARCs from Nope. I can't believe I don't know how to say this imprint. I think it's Nope. If the F is silent, it's Nope. Otherwise, it's Nope Publishing. I need to learn because it's kind of embarrassing that I don't know that, but they sent over 2 ARCs for me that I cannot wait to read. I have The Dry Season, which is a memoir about a woman that spends an entire year free of pleasure. It sounds like something that I've just never seen done before or written or published. This ARC comes out June 3rd, but I hopefully will read it before then and be able to recommend it. They also sent over Ordinary Love, which is a queer second chance best friends to lovers type of story, I believe, between 2 girls that I think had some sort of high school infatuation, maybe like a silent crush, that reconnect as adults. Oh, it sounds so good. This sounds like something that I absolutely will love, and I don't know why I didn't have this on I just filmed my April TBR list. This should have been on it for sure. This one also comes out June 10th. And then Celadon Books also sent over a ARC memoir this month called Bad Friend by Tiffany Watt Smith, How Women Revolutionized Modern Friendship. So I think it's about the complexities of female friendships, which just sounds like such an intriguing, more nonfiction book to consume. I'm very excited for this as well. This ARC comes out in May, so I would love to read this before release day if possible. But those are all of the books that publishers and authors sent over this last month. So of course, the total for this category comes out to $0 spent, but a huge thank you to all of the imprints, publishing houses, and authors that sent over a copy of their book. I cannot wait to read all of these. I do my best to prioritize these books first too, because I understand that I'm just grateful enough to receive a copy. So I want to share that and be able to post my review as soon as possible. And that leads us to our final category in this video, Thrifted. I thrifted 24 books this month, and I think I had one of the best thrifting months of my life. I cannot wait to show you what I found because these finds are crazy to me. Surprisingly, most of these books came from a local thrift store in my area. I only got 5 books from Goodwill, so let's start there. I guess I only went to Goodwill once, and then I went to this other thrift store twice. The 5 paperbacks that I got from Goodwill include this UK edition of Catching Fire. This was such a cool find. I wish I found the whole trilogy there, but still such a fun collector's item. I found a copy of The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. In Dark Dark Wood by Ruth Ware. The Floating Girls, let me know if you've read this because it sounds so cute. The back describes it as being very similar to Where the Crawdads Sing, and I loved that book for the summery, marshy vibes. Just a few hours before finding this book, somebody left a comment online recommending it to me, so it felt like fate that I came across it the same day. The Bookshop of Yesterdays. I love the feeling of this cover, and it just sounds like such a fun book about books. Those are the 5 books that I got at Goodwill this month, and my total for Goodwill comes out to $9.95. And then, like I said, I hit the jackpot at this other, it's like a non-profit thrift store near me. I'm saving the best for last. The first time I went, I went twice. This trip was insane. The first time I went, I still feel like I found really good finds. The Secret History by Donna Tartt, a classic that I've been wanting to read for forever. And this is such a fun vintage edition of it. This one was published, I think, in 2004, but it says on the binding that this is the vintage version. So I love it. I love it so much. I cannot wait for that. I also picked up The Book of Magic by Alice Hoffman because I have wanted to read an Alice Hoffman book for so long. If I ever come across a practical magic book, oh my gosh, it's gonna be so good. Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. I found a really great, excellent condition of ACOTAR. You never know. I haven't read that series yet. I also found this excellent condition of Did You Hear About Kitty Carr? And I love this book. If you liked Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo or historical fiction, I think you would really appreciate this book, and I think everyone needs to read this. Like I said, I already read it. I already have a copy of it, but this is like brand new condition, so I will be adding this to my blind dates with a book inventory. So if you order a blind date with a book and you request a historical fiction book and you haven't read this one yet, you may get this as your blind date with a book. I'll leave that down below. I never plug it enough, but I do have an Etsy shop. I sell vintage items as well as books over there because I read this and I loved it and I would recommend it. It just makes a great inventory book that I hope one of you will also love. And then I found this Alex Michaelides or Michaelay book. I apologize if I said his last name wrong. The Maidens? Can't believe it. On to the craziest finds of the month. If you follow me on TikTok, you've seen the vlog of this day. I still cannot believe my luck. There is a local book baddie in my area who supports independent authors, who receives ARCs, and is also a minimalist who donates back to her community. I am the community that bought these books. I'm still so shocked by these finds. I've never found books as great as these at this thrift store before, starting with the independent versions of some books that I found. God of Malice. I only recently discovered this series and I knew I wanted to read it because it's dark romance and sounds like something that I would selfishly eat right up. Bloom Publishing has published this traditionally. Is this a Bloom published book? No, it is the original self-published indie version of God of Malice that did so well that Bloom Publishing traditionally published it. These are out of print. You cannot buy this if you want it. You'd have to get it from somebody that previously bought it. And I found it at a thrift store. I cannot believe it. I love self-published books too because they usually have such fun illustrations and art, and like the start of each chapter is on like a dark page. Like, look at this. It's gonna be so good. I cannot wait to read this book, and I cannot believe that I found an indie version of it. I also found an indie version of Verity back when this was self-published. So even though I read this book, the self-published version is such a collector's item to me, so I had to pick this up as well. I found an indie version of Black Ties and White Lies. This is a romance book. I don't know if this has been traditionally published yet. It only recently came out, but I love how cute the inside is. And there's also a playlist, and I love playlists in books. That's like an immediate purchase for me if I see a book comes with a playlist. I cannot believe this indie version either. The Unwanted Marriage. It is a steamy billionaire arranged marriage romance. Now here's the craziest part, okay? I am part of the Bloom influencer program this year, and I'm so grateful for that. They recently sent over their Q2 list of books that you can request to receive a copy of, and The Unwanted Marriage is being traditionally published by Bloom, coming out in a few months. It's not even out yet, but it's being traditionally published. And I got an indie version of it before it's published. I think I'm manifesting this right now because I want to read Kiss of the Basilisk so badly, and that's a book that Bloom just published. However, it was originally self-published under the title Split or Swallow. Now, this little nonprofit of mine that I go to is run by the cutest, mostly elderly volunteers. I don't see a world where this elderly woman volunteering here is going to come across an indie book called Split or Swallow and put it on a shelf. But if they do, I really hope I find it Anyway, this is being traditionally published is what I'm saying. But I found an indie version of it and I can't believe it. Craziest finds. I also found Why Women Grow and it just really caught my eye. I think this will be a really fun book. If Cats Disappeared from the World, the arc of Red, White, and Royal Blue. Are you freaking kidding me? An ARC copy of this is crazy. I don't know how someone could get rid of their ARCs because for me, those are collector items, which is why I immediately bought this. I also found an ARC for The Manor of Dreams, which on the back is described as being a gothic 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Immediate yes. This book also just came out in March, so I know that whoever received this ARC recently received it. I can't believe they would part ways, but I can't wait to read this. I also found a very popular book that I've been wanting to try for a while, Dial A for Aunties. This sounds so cute. I grabbed The Last Resort as well. This is a thriller. I saw a 20th anniversary version of Jacqueline Woodson's If You Come Softly. This author has won so many awards, and this looks like a very short and sweet book that I could easily read in one sitting. So cannot wait to read that. I found this stunning hardcover version of Fun Home by Alison Bechdel. I've read this book in college, but I don't think I appreciated it when it was required reading. If you are unaware, this is a graphic novel, and because I had to read it for class back in college, I don't think I got what I could have gotten out of it if I read it on my own. One of my recent sapphic romances, this book was a big deal in that book, Kiss Her Once for Me. The characters in that book kind of have like a bond over this book Fun Home, and it made me want to reread it. I'm so glad that I found this copy. Another crazy hardcover find of a book that I've wanted to read since it was released, The First Ladies. This story, oh my gosh, I hope it goes in like the direction that I'm hoping it goes in, because I a few years ago, I read White Houses by Amy Bloom, and that one talks about this relationship as well. If you didn't know, there's some stirring about some undisclosed lesbianism among the White House, and I'm here for it. I think that's what this one will talk about. I really hope that's where this goes. If not, I will be kind of disappointed. Why is everyone saying that they were best friends on the back? What? I thought the tea was that they weren't just friends. But those were the books that I found for my local nonprofit, and my total for these thrifted books comes out to $53.72. But my total for this category of all of the books that I found thrifted for the month of March comes out to wait. I fucked up. Hang on, you guys. I forgot to add my total for this shop plus Goodwill. Live time reaction. Oh crap. Okay. My total for thrifted books this month comes out to $63.67. But if you divide that by the 24 books that I got thrifted, my average per book for thrifted books comes out to $2.65 per book, which makes sense because most of these books were about $2 or $2.99. This changes the grand total this month then, because I had a technical error. Let me adjust this in case I ever go back to look. Well, this just added about $10, but that brings us to my total spent on books for the month of March. For 39 books, my total comes out to $112.86. Did that surprise you? Were you expecting that? I feel like it was a pretty decent number for the amount of books that I've acquired. And if you break that down, average per book, basically dividing it by the 39 books, the average spent per books comes out to $2.89, which is just about where I'd like it to be. So happy that the majority of my books came from secondhand places, and I'm so grateful again for all of the books that I was gifted this month. The fact that only 3 books out of 39 were bought brand new is a win-win for me, so I'm very proud of myself for that, and 2 of them were new releases that I just couldn't resist. That is the monthly book haul for the month of March. Definitely stay tuned for April because I already am so excited to talk about new books. I did something for the first time ever this month, and I pre-ordered a personalized signed copy of a new release that's coming out shortly, so I can't wait to share that one with you. Please subscribe if you aren't already, and don't forget to check out my Bookstagram and Book Talk down below as well if you are enjoying the book content here. But I hope everyone is having a wonderful start to this new month, and if you've read any of these books, please let me know which ones you would recommend that I immediately read. Bye!